I have Dr. Michael Krohn with me today, the Head of Research and Development of BRAIN AG. Michael, do you like to quickly introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. My name is Michael Krohn, born in Germany in 1963. And I'm with BRAIN since more than 20 years. And meanwhile, since March last year, I'm heading the R&D here at BRAIN.
What really gets you excited about BRAIN's R&D capabilities?
When I think about this question, I would still say I'm still impressed from my co-workers here dedicating their daily work to science, which is not easygoing. And if you compare this to non-science work, I would say the difference is usually you care about work, daily work, and you judge your work routine-wise in the end of the day. And when you cope with science, you cope with the daily work result-wise. So every day is different, and this is sometimes frustrating, but most of the time not only challenging, but I really like the idea of having this type of changes from day to day.
Michael, why did you join forces with partners in many of your projects?
Good question. What we address here is we are a solution and technology provider. So sometimes we have good solution, but we are missing, for example, direct market access. So here we need the knowledge and the access to the market of partners. The other reason we do that, so often these are huge programs, so we often do something really new, innovative, takes some time and costs money, so we also need and de-risk our programs with the financial support of our partners. So I think these are 2 or 3 good reasons to have partners, and also gives us credibility also for our investors.
Have there been large productivity improvements in R&D over last years?
Especially in biotechnology, yes. I would like to mention 2 things here. One, which is also meanwhile in the press and the media, so it's called the CRISPR technology. We don't have time to get into details here, but in principle, you are now able to address nearly any location in a genome of a living organism, which is quite substantial for the work of biotechnologists. The other thing I would like to mention is, this is relatively easy to explain, is next generation sequencing. This is a technology, again, what fascinates me here is that you combine physics, bioinformatics, even proteins on a chip, where you have a sequencing capacity, meanwhile, which gives you the possibility to sequence the whole genome, maybe of a bacteria overnight. Looking 10 years back, this would lasted more than maybe weeks or even months, and costs you a fortune at that time. So it's easy going meanwhile, and with that you generate a lot of useful data you can apply in a shorter time frame. And this also gives you more knowledge on nature, which we use every day here at BRAIN.
BRAIN talks a lot about this BioArchive. What is it and what makes it unique?
I mean, this is obvious, at least to me. I mean, we just mentioned before that we are based on nature's role model. So what we do here is we have a library, which we call BioArchive, which is consisting of plants, natural compounds, fractions, microorganisms, genomes, genes. And what we're trying to do here is not what I would call number crunching, like to have the largest library of the world. We would like to cover the biodiversity as good as it can be. So therefore, this is the idea of our BioArchive, and it helps us for our tailor-made solution business, for as a starting point whenever we try to develop something for our customers or for ourselves.
You have now worked for more than 20 years at BRAIN. What makes you proud about working here?
I would say after all the years, I'm still acting on conviction here. I see industrial biotechnology still as a tool to really cope with man-made interventions, which we have done to the planet, and to cope with the novel sustainability issues we have with society. And a bit more selfish, I would say it's still my interest to cope with the chemical industry, at least in parts, because these guys have more than 100 years in advance when it comes to industrial applications, and would still make me feel better if we would apply, invent industrial processes which come or which have their roots from biotechnology. And it doesn't matter whether we are doing this, our competitors. My main interest, it comes from biotechnology.
Michael, thank you very much for your insights and time. I'm really looking forward to continue this interview series in the near future.
Thank you. You're more than welcome, and let's see what we can do next time.